So this is essentially lesson 0. Again, just going to be a warm-up. It will be a review for some of you of how to do this flower motion, or it can be an introduction for first-timers. But yes, I'm going to be walking through this entire flower sequence for these next few moments. The following 3 classes are going to be each 1 hour long. It's going to be broken into session 1, an overview and a deep dive into this flower movement, as well as when we move the sword vertically like this, we call it a flower. When we move it horizontally, we call that a cloud. So we'll be exploring, developing, cultivating our fluidity with these motions, the flower motion and the cloud motion, and then learning to go back and forth between the two, string them together. So that's going to be lesson 1, first hour. Second hour, take it a little further and start exploring actual sequences, actual combinations, like some of my favorites, but mostly stationary, mostly standing in place. So again, expanding this flower sequence into how we can take that into other motions. What else? That'll be the second hour. And third hour, gonna zoom out the camera and do more traveling across the floor. Again, some of my preferred sequences that I like to explore for both newcomers and advanced practitioners. So we're going to do session 1, mastering the flower, getting comfortable with this motion with both hands. Going to go back and forth, left and right. Session 2, sequences primarily stationary. And section 3, going to have some running sequences, walking sequences, jumping sequences. So that will require a little more space. If you're limited in your space, then hopefully you can still make use of lesson 1 and lesson 2. But right now, lesson 0. Let's just get into this flower motion so you can get comfortable with it. When you're holding the sword, so this is very beginner, just start from the basics. When you're holding the sword, you want to hold it very close to the guard so that you can control it, you can maneuver it. If I'm down here and I try this motion, I'll be kind of scooping. It's not going to really have the flow. It's not going to have the ease of motion that we want. So practice getting your grip very close to the handle and using this shape, using your thumb and your forefinger to push. Just pull the sword, push the sword. So I'm primarily using the upper part of my hand, and then the lower part, the pinky part, kind of adds on a little bit more control as well. We're going to begin, you can flower any direction, but we're going to begin with descending flowers that drop. Boom, boom. So start with the blade up, holding it in your right hand. When we go to lesson 1, I'll do left hand and right hand, but just for sake of time, we're just going to do the right hand for now. So I'm holding the blade up. I start with it close to my shoulder, and then I send it out. Send this sword out like I'm casting a fishing line, like I'm tossing it. I send the blade, let momentum drop the blade, and then I almost let go of the sword to let it continue. So it went from blade up to blade down, and I'm almost letting go. I'm exaggerating here. I always keep contact with thumb and forefinger. That's how I don't lose my sword, don't lose the handle. But the other 3 fingers, I don't necessarily have to expand them completely, but I usually loosen them. And for you to see it, I'm going to expand them just so I can really articulate that I'm loosening the grip, and then I'm tightening the grip to get it back up. I toss the blade and I loosen my grip with these 3 fingers while the top 2, the pointer and thumb, stay connected. And then when I'm ready to reset, I grab again, almost like this, chopping like an axe. So I start up here, send the blade out, drop it. I have to loosen my wrist so that the momentum can flow freely, and then settle again. Send out, drop, settle. Send out, drop, settle. I kind of guide this sword around. I send out the momentum, let it fall, and then guide it back up close to my face, my chin, my nose, everything, and then drop it. So this is a downward circle in front. All of these circles, all of these flowers could be done with a stick, could be done with any kind of straight, relatively straight object. If you don't have a sword, if you just have a broom handle, like a relatively short one, you can do all these same motions with a stick. This is a kali stick. They're also very useful to get the feeling and even to get the momentum, because they have a little more, you can really toss it, get that bludgeoning feeling. Usually you find these for about $20 or $30 a pair at boxing supply stores, anywhere. So if you don't have a sword, you can still work on these motions with a stick. In Wushu, the Jian, the straight sword, has a tassel that comes with it. And this tassel is actually very important to the motion. Some people get frustrated that the tassel kind of gets in their way or gets caught in their hand. So it's possible to practice without the tassel, especially if you have a different type of sword or if you're just using a stick. But I would suggest getting used to the tassel. The feel of the tassel, it's meant to be a counterbalance. There's several reasons why it's there, but one reason is to just have it be this counterbalance while you're spinning, while you're turning. And also, if it's getting caught on your hand, that's an indication that you're not moving so smoothly or harmoniously. So this tassel can be some positive feedback, positive or negative feedback if it's getting in the way. But once you get this smooth flow, you should be pushing the blade as much as you're pulling the tail. I call this the tail of the sword. So you should be moving both the front, the blade part, the action part, as well as the back. And once you have those moving in harmony, then your tassel will work with you and not against you. So if this large tassel is getting in the way, is not really helpful, I would suggest finding a smaller tassel and just, get these at antiques, or what do you call those? Like novelty stores, anywhere. Just get them online, and there you go. So this is what I usually have beginners work with. You still get a little bit of that weight, but doesn't get so caught. Now let's finish up this flower sequence, or this flower tutorial. We can move on to the next 3 actual workshops. All right, so this is dropping the blade in front, lifting it up. We could also drop the blade and let it fall behind the wrist and then flick it up. In both these cases, you want to envision a wall directly in front of you and behind you. So when I drop the flower in front of me and pick it up, I don't want to scrape, I don't want to hit that invisible wall. I want to keep the blade in this same plane as me. And same thing when I drop it behind. I don't want to scrape the wall behind me. I want to fall close to me and then bring it back up. Same as the one in front. We're almost letting go, and then we're re-gripping it to come back. So in front, I drop it in front of me, almost let go, re-grip. Behind, I drop it behind, almost let go, re-grip. There's also a little bit of a waist movement. If I keep my waist stiff, it's going to be hard to get a fluid motion. So I want to, as I drop in front, I twist, I kind of push my right hip. When I drop behind, I pull back my right hip. This is me really exaggerating it so you can see. And it's up to you. Maybe you want a more subtle motion here where your hip barely moves. That's kind of the Tai Chi feeling. When you practice Tai Chi, you start with these big circles to get a sense of the movement. But as you progress and start to master the skill, you bring those circles, those spirals more inside, more in your core. So people, your opponent or even the audience, barely sees the circle, but they feel it happening. So we can have a very exaggerated hip motion, 1, 2, 1, 2, or we can have a more subtle, controlled. I tend to keep my other hand either at my hip. I could keep it in this neutral position. The hand that holds the sword grips the handle. The other hand, the free hand, forms the jianzi, the sword fingers. 2 fingers pointed, other 2 fingers on the thumb. So I can keep my sword fingers at my shoulder. While I do this, I can have my sword fingers behind me. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, I'll do it facing away so you can get this feeling as well. Dropping the blade in front, picking it up. Dropping the blade behind me, picking it up. In front, pick up, behind, pick up, in front, pick up, behind, and then you don't stop. You drop it once, lift it, and send it straight to the next circle. A circle in front, a circle behind, a circle in front, a circle behind. And when I want to speed up, I dig my feet more into the ground, bend my knees, and I just twist. When I drop it in front, I twist toward the left. When I drop it behind, I twist toward the right. And you can get your shoulders involved. Here, I'll face the front again so you can mirror me. Get your shoulders involved. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see, actually, let me do this side so you can, I think then you can follow along. I mean, when we go to the lesson one, we'll do both sides equally, but let me just give you a sense of what it looks like on this side, in case that's easier to follow along. Twist, twist. When I drop it in front, I push my hip. When I drop it behind, I pull my hip. Push, pull, push, pull. Good. And just to finish up here, keep this relatively brief. Again, this is lesson 0. This is just to warm up your wrist, warm up your flower. If you're familiar with it, to just practice it and explore, see if you can make it a little more fluid. And if you're new, then here you go. Introduction to this motion that we call flower. Flower, that term is used in different apparatus, different tools, different weapons. When we use the staff, we also have a flower movement. It looks like this. So you see, still it's this vertical circle. Vertical circle. That's a hua. That's a hua. That's a flower in the Wushu staff. Right now we're focusing on flower and Wushu sword. I want to take us from, we did a single circle, which is either spinning it in front, single circle, whipping it behind, or we could do double circle, 2 circles, in front, behind, in front, behind. Let's try slowly a few times. In front, behind, in front, lift it, drop it, lift it. Use the weight of the sword. Feel the sword, or a stick, whatever it is. Feel the weight of it dropping and lifting, dropping and lifting. And relax the body so you can turn with it. And once you feel that momentum and your wrist is loose and your shoulders loose and your elbows loose and your hips is loose, that's when you can start to whip it more. But always take your time so that you're comfortable with the apparatus, with the thing you're working with. So that was 1 circle in front, 1 circle repeated in front, 1 circle repeated behind, 2 circles, 1, 2. Behind and front. It doesn't matter if you start behind to front, behind, front, or start in front, behind. It's a cycle, so it's just going to keep going either way. And then you can find ways to stop. Straighten it, maybe stop at the hip, send it. We'll get into that in the next session, in the lesson 101. But let's finish up here with a 3rd circle. So when we do a 3-circle flower, it's going to look like this. It's going to feel like this. It's going to flow like this. It's going to be drop the sword behind to begin this cycle. Next, we tuck the sword at our back. So we're going to do it like this. It's going to look like drop behind, tuck at my spine. Yeah. After that, I keep moving my hip so that this blade can fall and rise for the 3rd circle, which takes us back to start. So 1st circle is dropping it behind my back. It's scraping along the back of my shoulder blades, the back of my shoulder. 2nd circle, I tuck, but I let the blade continue, and I have to move my hips to get out of the way so I can unfurl for part 3. So part 1, drop the blade behind. Part 2, tuck the blade against my spine. But then I keep my hips turning so I can go to part 3, unfurl. Let me face you. Drop the blade, tuck the blade, but I don't stop here. I keep my hip turning to the left so I can continue and let the blade come around. A lot of people leave out this complete motion inadvertently because it's easy to just like skip it, to skip through. If I were to skip it, it would look like forgetting to tuck and just kind of carrying that through. I advise you not to do that because if you can tighten that up now in the beginning while you're going slow, it'll really help your flow and your circles when you go faster. So again, what I'm advising is drop it behind, tuck at the spine, and then really get this full range of motion as you come down, as opposed to forgetting to tuck at the spine and just kind of, let me show you. try to avoid just like letting it drop, letting it scrape. Try to really shoot the blade straight up and then let it go straight down. It has to always fall and rise. Fall completely, rise completely, and fall in this plane. Fall, rise, fall, rise. If it's in front of me, fall in front of me, rise. Keep it in this plane. So for this 3-part circle, fall behind me, rise. And then this is the part I really want you to complete it. Let it rise. So I forgot to mention fall. Fall and rise, fall and rise. Relaxing the shoulder, getting a good range of motion. After we rise, we turn our hip to allow this to freely fall, and then finish with one more rise. 3 circles, so it's 3 falls and rise. 3 falls and 3 rises. Fall 1, rise 1. Fall 2, don't forget to rise 2. I turn my hip for falling the 3rd time, rising the 3rd time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ba, ba, ba. From the side, 1, 2, 3. We'll start slow so you can follow along. And if you're comfortable, gradually speed it up. And that will be the end of our little warm-up, the end of our little introduction to this flower motion. So starting very, very slow. Drop it behind. Next, we tuck it against the spine, but we don't stop there. We turn our hips so we can unfurl. Drop, tuck, unfurl. Flower behind, flower at the spine, unfurl at your hip. So I go flower behind, flower at my spine, and as I'm unfurling, this is happening close to my right hip. And that can be a small unfurl, depending on what movement we do next. Maybe I want to really whip this around near my hip. Or it can be a big unfurl. Maybe I want to have a big slice after that. So that can be modified depending on what's coming next. But let's do 10 of these, and then we'll move on to the actual 1-hour workshop component. Drop once, drop twice, drop 3 times. Behind, spine, unfurl. Behind, tuck, unfurl. Behind, tuck, unfurl. For the next one, I'll zoom out a little more so you can actually see my legs, see my stance work, see my hips. For now, I just want you to kind of focus on this flowing of the wrist, flowing of the body. 1, 2, 3. Behind, tuck, unfurl. You can do it slow to really explore. And maybe you don't ever want to speed up. Maybe you're not practicing this to go to like a Wushu competition and try and score real high. Maybe you're not doing that. Maybe you're not doing martial arts. Maybe it's more of a flow art for you to move slow with it. Maybe you're incorporating this apparatus into your dance practice, your movement practice, your meditation practice. So there's nothing wrong with taking it slow. And if you're going to do it slow, I'd really suggest hitting all these points straight up instead of, because it's going to be even more obvious that you're cutting corners if you move slow. So try not to cut corners here. Try to let this blade come all the way up behind you and then all the way down. If you want to go fast, then you just add your hips, add your shoulders, use your other hand to help you turn. We'll do 5 times slow and then 5 times fast. 1, 2, turn. 2, behind, turn. 3, behind, turn. 4, behind, turn. 5, let's start to speed it up. 1 and turn. 2 and turn. 3 and turn. 4 and turn. 5 and turn. And then when you're really comfortable, you just string it all together. Do some combinations. You can do a 5 motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. We'll do this in the next section, in the next workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can start to add some slices, some everything. That's a little intro. This is lesson 0. Moving on now to lessons 1, lessons 2, lessons 3. And I hope you get something out of it. I hope it's useful. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me. If you'd like private sessions to actually dive deep and customize it to whatever your specific practice is, we can do that. But in the meantime, Happy training. Take it slow. Learn your own body. Learn whatever apparatus you have, whether it's a Wushu Jian or a different sword or a different object. Take your time to really get to know it. I would spend time I suggest just sitting in meditation or standing in meditation, holding, gripping, exploring, getting to know the weight of your object, so that once you actually get into these faster motions or more complex sequences, you're working with something you're familiar with, and you're not just fighting to keep up or make it look cool or powerful, whatever. It will look cool and it will look powerful the longer you do it, but start from a sense of exploration, a sense of conscientiousness to your own body, to the object itself, so you don't damage it the way you're working it. So yeah, just take time to get familiar with yourself, your own needs. Spend as much time as you need warming up, stretching before any of these, as well as cooling down at the end. Yeah, I'm just here to present a guideline of practices and exercises and drills that have been helpful to me and continue to be helpful to me, and hopefully they can be helpful to you. But in the end, I advise you to take charge of your own journey and your own health. Seek out an in-person instructor if you have one that can really help tailor your practice to your specific needs and your interests. And yeah, just always take care of yourself. Have fun. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you for coming. And I'll see you for the three sessions. Peace.